God bless everyone, and welcome to today's new lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to be going over what are major scales and minor scales. Now, let's get right into this video. So, the major scale is something that everyone uses, every musician uses to be able to play at the church or at a gig or whatever they're doing, right? If you hear a song, they're using what is a scale, okay? They're using a scale. They need a skill because if they don't have the skill, how are they gonna play? You need to know your skill to be able to play something. All right. So if you want to be able to play, you have to know and have to really engrave in you the major skills and minor skills. Okay. So how do we build or how do we find the major scales? Okay. So if I'm in the key of C, in key of C, right? Let's use this as an example. Every major scale, right? Every major scale has a formula. This is the formula itself. It's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay, that's how the formula goes. Okay, so that W means whole step, which equals two steps, and then the half step equals one step. So when it's saying whole step, it's saying two steps, and when it's saying half step, it's saying one step. So if I'm here in C, and it tells me the formula tells me that's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, then that means I have to go up twice, twice again, and then half step. So it's once, whole step, whole step, whole step, and then half step. Now, this formula you can use on any given note you want to start on. So if you want to start on here on D, you can go do the whole formula. So it's whole step, half, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. And there you go. You got the D major scale. And you can do this to find any scale on the board scales. Now the minor scales, they have a formula. The minor scales have a formula that goes whole, half, whole, half, whole. So if we start here on A and we go with that formula, it'll be whole, half, whole, half, whole. Now we got the minor. The minor scale is pretty much a darker side of the major scale. So if you hear this scale, but the minor scale will be darker, it'll be like, a little bit more serious tone. But the major scale obviously is a little brighter. So when you hear you hear the difference. So they're basically just one is major is a brighter sound, and then minor scale is just a darker sound. So what you can do is to find it, each scale, you can use this formula for the minor scale and use it anywhere. So for example, remember we were on D, so let's go to B then. Let's go to B, right? And I use this formula. It'll be like whole, 1, 2, half, whole, 1, 2, whole, 1, 2, half, whole, and there you go. Already got that scale. Now you can apply that to every note you want to start on. So if you want to start on here, all of it, and you can just use these formulas rather to get each scale. Okay, remember, one formula is for the major scale, another one is for the minor scale. So they're two different scales. Okay, but I'm giving you a quick tip and a quick little insight into this. Remember how I told you one is brighter and the other one is just darker? So think of it as this: there are major scales that have a darker side. Okay, that darker side is the minor scale, right? So each major scale has a darker side to itself. So you could think of it as this, and this is the official term for it, is a relative minor, right? So if I'm in C, and I know it's the C major scale, right? Once I already know it, right? You already know the scale, you memorize it, or you just engraving yourself to the point that you already know how it goes, right? What you have to do is then use this C as the one and just count twice down. So 1, 2, and you arrive as to its darker. You arrive to its darker side, which is the A minor. The reason that this is called a relative minor is because they share the same notes, and it's a darker side to it. So if I'm here, this is bright, and I go down, it's darker. So you get a little more emotional. This one's just happy, a little brighter, but then and they share the same notes because look, the only difference is where you start and end. So on C, you start and end on C, right? But in A minor, the relative minor of C, you see how that goes? So that's a quick tip for you to use when you're practicing and learning these stuff. Any scale you learn, for example, here D, it has a relative minor to it. So if I do that same analogy, if I know the whole scale, right, of D major. Once I know it, all I have to do is just apply this method of go to the one of that scale, which is D, and just count down twice. 1, 2, and I have the B minor, which is the relative minor of D major. So I hope that makes sense. It's a quick little tip that's gonna save you a lot of time and effort. I think a lot of trouble rather. It's gonna make things a little easier because, in a sense, it'll make you understand and really engrave these things in yourself even more. Okay, so I hope this lesson has been a great help to you. Please comment any questions, any concerns, and I'll be more than able to, help you out. Okay. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and God bless. Thank you.